Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my first impressions look on the New Balance two-way. So this is New Balance's new basketball shoe. Of course, the Omnis was their first basketball shoe, which we all thought was Kawhi's signature shoe, but it wasn't. And then we have the Kawhi here, and then now it's the New Balance two-way. It's specifically designed for Darius Bazley and DeJounte Murray. So those are the other two New Balance basketball athletes. This shoe is going for 140 bucks. Right now I just looked and the other colorway is sold out, and I believe there were still some sizes for this colorway available. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones, right? So they say it's like data mapped, so you're supposed to get like the best traction or whatever, you know. It's basically just the same brain pattern that we've seen here in the Kawhi. So as far as the stop goes, like trying it on my wood floors, it seems I'm kind of like disappointed, you know. I thought it would have a much better bite. It doesn't seem to be biting that well, but the really good thing about it though is that the rubber is extremely hard. There is a little bit of a texture to it, so maybe like once I break that in, the traction will get better, but we'll have to see on that. But I feel like if you're playing on an outdoor court, you should be fine because the rubber outsole seems like it's going to be super duper durable. Right, so in this colorway and the other colorway as well, we have a combination of a solid rubber and a translucent rubber, kind of like here in the middle of the outsole. And then we have a New Balance logo as well, which is made up of a yellow solid rubber. Also, another cool thing about this shoe that I kind of like noticed is that it has a little bit of rounding. You know, it's kind of like an outsole curvature. It reminds me of the Kyrie 2, the Kyrie 3, and kind of like the Kyrie 4 as well. If you look at the middle of the shoe right here, you can see that the shoe kind of like teeters off of the point here in the middle, and that feels pretty nice. It kind of gives you like this rounded shape here in the forefoot, and it gives you this like really nice motion, you know. And also there is a little bit of an outsole curvature, definitely not as much as the Kyrie's. I would say it's more similar to the Kyrie 7, a lot more mellow, but then I do like that teetering shape, you know. And also if you guys look here on the medial side of the shoe, the rubber outsole does come up a good amount, so if you're doing a lot of those types of movements, you're gonna get extra grip here. So that's something that I noticed, and also something that I really like right now. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, it feels super smooth. You know, you have a nice curved shape here in the heel. It's very rounded, and you have a nice curved shape here in the forefoot, and also you have a good amount of forefoot flex, but you also have a midfoot shank plate, right? So through this, I guess like a translucent outsole, you can see the midfoot shank plate. It kind of looks like a bird's footprint or something. So that's probably just plastic, and that's going to give you torsional support. As far as the cushioning setup goes, they're using full length fuel cell, and it feels, you know, it doesn't feel that nice. I mean, I don't know why companies do this where they cage the midsole here in the heel so much, right? Especially on the medial side. Why do you need this? Well, where you need the caging is on the lateral side, so you don't go like this and like roll your ankle. But then if you look at the shoe, it's like exposed here on the lateral side and completely caged here on the medial side and also in the back of the heel. So you can't really feel the midsole compress all too much, I guess, besides on the lateral side. And then here in the forefoot, I mean, it's also kind of caged, but that's not really a problem there. And then as far as the strobel board goes, the strobel board is pretty stiff. And as far as the underfoot cushioning goes, I can't really feel it all too much because of the stiffer strobel board. The insole is kind of nice. I would say it feels like a regular Ortholite insole. So I mean, stepping comfort is pretty nice. I can feel the fuel cell just a little bit. There is a little bit of compression from the midsole here in the heel on the lateral side. So I don't know, hopefully, you know, once I break it in, it gets a little bit nicer. But right now I'm thinking it's more just like a responsive type of cushioning setup with pretty good impact protection, right? So the court feel, I noticed, you know, it seems pretty damn low to the ground, as opposed to like the Omnis. The Omnis was actually really nice, and they didn't really cage it all too much. All right, moving on to the materials. So they're using what they're calling the kinetic stitch upper, right? So it's basically just a textile or a knit material. I would say, yeah, probably just a textile material with a lot of stitching, right? It kind of reminds me of that. Adidas did this a while back. I don't remember in what shoe, but I remember it was like a Dame shoe, right? So if you put like stitching, it obviously makes the material a lot more supportive, you know, without compromising, like, I guess, stiffness. It doesn't feel super stiff, but it feels a little glued down, right? So I'm sure that'll break in and it'll get a lot softer, but right now it feels a little glued down, which makes the material feel a little bit flimsy right now. But that, like I said, I feel like it'll break in. Here in the tip of the toe cap, we have some fuse, and the fuse that they use feels really cheap. I don't really like that all too much, but that's good for durability if you do toe drags. Coming here into the midfoot area, we still have the same like brain pattern, and the material is still really thin, which I like. I mean, this upper is just extremely thin. And then coming here into the ankle area, there's also very minimal padding. There are some Achilles pillows, like one on the left and one on the right, but it's like not even that well padded, so I don't think that'll help all too much. But I didn't really feel any type of heel slippage or anything, so there's that. And then here in the heel, we have a synthetic leather, which feels kind of cheap. And also here on the lateral side, we have the New Balance logo. So as far as the tongue goes, we have a half booty construction tongue. So it's connected to this mesh material that goes underneath this kinetic stitch upper, which provides for a better overall one-to-one fit. I don't like how thin this tongue is though. There's absolutely no padding. And so, you know, for me personally, I like to have like a thick tongue. You know what I'm saying? I like to have a lot of padding, but that's just in my personal opinion. That's what I would prefer. But I guess it makes the shoe feel like super minimal on foot, so that's a good thing, I guess. And then here on the bottom of the tongue, we have a mesh material, which will probably be good for ventilation. Here on the tongue, it says two-way, and they're using a really crappy feeling felt material. So as far as the material quality goes, so like the synthetic materials and like the fuse and like the leather and like this felt material, all are really cheap feeling, but the overall like kinetic stitch, or I guess like this knit or textile material, is not bad, and it feels really nice on foot. Very minimal, very thin, conforms to your foot and all that, and I feel like it'll also like get softer when I break it in. So quality, not the best, but on foot it feels pretty damn nice. Alright, moving on to the fit. The fit of this shoe is super duper long, so I would suggest going down half a size. And then also they have a wide foot option, right? So which is pretty cool. Like when you're buying the shoe, they have standard width and then they have wide width, which I mean, I believe they've done it with the Omnis and as well as the Kawhi, so I like how New Balance does that for wide footers. So the regular standard fit for me fits quite normal. So width-wise, it's pretty good. I can feel the fuel cell here, like on the lateral side in the forefoot, kind of squeezing my forefoot just a tiny bit, but it's nothing to where it's like painful or anything or uncomfortable. And then here in the toe box, I would say it's normal. You know, it's not super snug, it's not super roomy. If it was really roomy, I would hate it because I hate having a roomy toe box. I would much rather prefer a very tight toe box, but you know, I feel like this is more just like a normal fit. So just remember to go down half a size because it does run long. Also, this shoe is kind of annoying to put on, just a little bit. You know, I mean, it does have a heel tab, but it is a mid cut. So I mean, mid cuts aren't the easiest to put on, so there's that. As far as support and lockdown goes, I feel like support and lockdown is going to be really good, right? So for lateral stability, you guys can see how much the outsole and midsole protrude out from the shoe, right? You guys can see like it's really extremely wide. So I feel like lateral stability is going to be good, and lateral containment is going to be good as well. Like if you guys see the foam here on the lateral side, we have some like peaks, right? So in the forefoot, we got 3 peaks. It's caging your forefoot. And then here in the heel, we have another peak as well as an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I feel like is going to be very good too. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. Let's actually weigh the Omnis first. So the regular Omnis is like 13 ounces. And then the Kawhi, I believe, was a little bit heavier. Yeah, 14.71 ounces. Yeah, that's pretty damn heavy. And then the two-way, I feel like it's going to be light. Yeah, so 12.2 ounces. So extremely light, way lighter than the 2 previous basketball shoes by New Balance. And that's definitely what I feel. You know, the upper, like I mentioned, is just extremely thin. There's very minimal padding. I feel like if they kind of got rid of some of the outsole caging, it would even make it a little bit lighter. But 12.2 ounces is still pretty damn light. I would say it also kind of feels a little bulky here in the heel, just because of how much it kind of like protrudes out, you know, like the foam and the outsole. So but just a little bit though. But anyways, I feel like they did a good job in making the shoe feel overall very light. All right, moving on to the aesthetics. It looks great, you know, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like the Omnis still looks the best. This is a great design. I love the colorways that they came out with as well. And then the two-way, and then the Kawhi. I'm not a huge fan of this colorway though. I mean, this like yellow, orange, blue colorway looks kind of eh. The other one sold out, so I couldn't get it. So this is the one that I'm stuck with. But the overall silhouette and the overall design I like. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, it's looking pretty good. The traction, I'm a little iffy on. The cushion, it doesn't seem super nice. just like kind of average right now. And then the materials, I like how it's thin and all that, but like the quality isn't that nice. And then the fit right now isn't the best for me. So the two-way is looking not so hot, you know what I'm saying, as compared to like the Omnis, which was one of my favorite shoes of the year that it came out, you know what I'm saying. Like this was in a lot of top lists. The Kawhi, they kind of messed up on, in my opinion, because of this, you know, just because, and also how stiff and rigid the shoe is. It's just not my type of shoe. So the two-way is more like a guard shoe, you know, like a lot more like smooth, a lot more fluid feeling right now. But I feel like they kind of messed up in a few areas just from my first impressions. Obviously, a lot of that can change once I play in it and break it in and all that. But right now, it's looking okay. So anyways, the New Balance two-way, 140 bucks. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.